everyone! My name is Kinanti, Petronela, Gaby, Surlia, and this is...
My name is Salpasjawati. Good morning. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Good morning. My full name is Kinanti, Petronela, Gaby, Surlia, but most people call me Kinan because it's simpler and that's the name I've been using since school. I'm comfortable with both, so you can call me whichever you prefer.
That's your identification, please.
Of course. Here it is. Let me hand it to you. I always kept it in my wallet so it's easy to show when needed.
Thank you. Let's talk about emotion. How do you usually deal with stress?
To be honest, I deal with stress in a variety of ways depending on what kind of stress it is. If it's related to work or academic deadlines, the first thing I usually do is organize my tasks. I break them into smaller steps because it makes everything feel more manageable. When I see things clearly, it reduces that overwhelming feeling and helps me stay focused. But when the stress is more emotional, like when I feel mentally drained or pressured by a situation, I prefer to take a step back. Sometimes I go for a short walk outside just to get some fresh air and reset my mind. On the other times, I listen to music because it really helps me relax and shift my mood. I have a playlist full of calming songs that I play whenever I need to unwind. If things get too intense, I also take a moment to detach from my phone and social media because scrolling often makes me more stressed without realizing it. I try to spend that time doing small activities that ground me, like stretching or watching something funny. Laughter helps a lot more than people think. I'm not perfect at handling stress, but I've learned to recognize the sign earlier and do something about it before it gets worse. It's something I'm still working on, but I think I've made a pretty good progress.
Do you think you are good in managing your own emotion?
I'd say I'm getting better, but there's still a lot of room for improvements. In the past, I didn't really understand my feelings, and I often react too quickly when something upset me. Sometimes I took things personally or kept my emotion bottled up for too long, which eventually made me feel even more stressed. Now, I try to be more mindful. I've been practicing pausing before I respond to something, especially during tense situations. I try to ask myself, why am I feeling a certain way instead of just reacting immediately? It sounds simple, but it has really helped me manage my emotion better. I also try to communicate more openly with people around me instead of staying silent when something bothers me. I try to express it calmly so the problem doesn't grow, and on days when my emotions feel harder to control, I give myself space to cool down. I think taking a break is much better than forcing yourself to act when you're overwhelmed. Overall, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but compared to how I used to be, I've definitely improved.
Who do you usually talk to when you feel strong emotion, like angry, sad, or excited?
When I experience strong emotions, whether I'm upset, sad, or even really excited, I usually talk to a couple of close friends. They've known me for a long time, so they understand how I think and how I react to things. I feel safe opening up to them because they don't judge me and they always listen patiently before giving advice. Sometimes I talk to my family as well, especially when the situation involves something big or personal. They might not always have the exact solution, but talking to them makes me feel supported. Of course, there are times when I keep things to myself, especially if I feel like I might be bothering others, but I've realized that keeping everything inside isn't healthy. Overall, having a few trusted people to talk to really helps me stay emotionally balanced.
Bye! Thank you!